Like,
Super
man, I wish
old.
that.
I don't know. It's time, and I didn't feel like doing that crazy intro like we normally do. I scared away Duke by going live. Oh no, Duke was going to say something, but now he doesn't want to. Anyway, how's it going, everybody? This is the Gay Frog Chat with E Honda and friends. Even though I'm not E Honda anymore, I don't care. Fuck you. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? We got Wild Lawfully Armed just joined the chat.
Hey.
Ho ho. These racist pricks have got to go. Hey. Ho ho. Nothing? Okay, fine. What's up, Ohio?
Oh, just apartment living.
Apartment living?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just like random stuff that I didn't realize was going to be an issue with this apartment, and it is now. So, that being said, I did get my Blink doorbell installed about 5 minutes ago. So,
nice.
Do you bring any bitches back to Chris in the apartment?
Not yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Fucking Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I've just been working my ass off and doing things, Working on my kid's car. Fucking a whole bunch of shit went wrong with it, so we went from 3 cars to 2 cars for a little while. Thankfully, we've got 2 cars, not just one, Because that would suck. I don't know. There was a while not too long ago where my car was the only vehicle that I had. And then motorcycles, and then my son got a car, and then my other son got a car. And now I've got like 5 fucking vehicles. And I feel like half of what I do on my free time is just work on vehicles. Kind of sucks. I wish I didn't have so
How many
many
spots does your apartment complex give you?
1, but if you're cool, you got to be cool.
Okay. Yeah, the nice thing about this place is they give me 2.
Well, I mean, the kids' cars aren't here full time. Mine is, and my motorcycles don't even take up a spot. They're kind of like in a corner where they don't even take a spot, so they don't really count. I hope no one said anything about them. Plus, there's for whatever reason, and I don't know why, the apartment complex that I live in, let's say there's 40 units or something like that, there's 6 people who have bikes. Like a lot of people have motorcycles here, except for everybody else just has the gay cruiser bikes, like Matt likes. So they all hang out and dock together, and then I do cool things on bikes, and they don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Anyway, I got nothing to talk about today, bros. I've been busy all fucking day. I've been in the sun all fucking day, so. Anybody who's got comments or subjects or gay cruiser chat, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Gay cruiser chat, but I repeat myself. See what I did there? Mechanic militia. Well, I mean, if you start working on stuff, it's kind of addictive, because you take something that's broken and you take it apart and figure out which part of it that's broken and then replace that part and put it back together and it works. You kind of feel like a magician. You kind of feel like a wizard, And you're not. You're just, you're using science. You're curing the autism with science, but yeah. Elon Musk just proved that it took 12 rocket refuels to get to the moon. It was definitely faked. Huh. Are you for real?
Moon landing.
Certainly wouldn't put it past the fucking federal government to lie to the American people in the world for 50 fucking years or however long it's been since the moon landing, and hold to their guns no matter what, and just make everything top secret and murder people, and you know what I mean? You know how the government works.
It's been over 60 years.
You know what I
1969,
mean? No one? 69?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the B-2 bomber flyover with Putin and Trump.
Yeah. Power
Well, I mean,
move.
that was pretty cool, I thought. I was definitely a show of force. I don't think it impressed Putin as much because, like, you know, he sees that kind of shit all the time. Plus, I don't think, like, that's probably our fucking top of the line shit. You know what I mean? Like, whatever we have that's top of the line is probably top secret or, like, in development or certainly not flying over with cameras. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Looked like fake Putin. Really? I didn't actually watch that. The bomber was such a flex. It was a flex, and like the way that Trump does things, like he's just such a manipulator is not the right word, but
Showman.
he definitely has influence over other people. He has a way to persuade people to do what he wants them to do and go along with what he wants them to go along with. And he like praises you when you do good and like shames you when you do bad. So he's like kind of encouraging you to do what he wants, like subconsciously, even if he's not directly doing that. You know, it's like it's weird how it works, but it fucking works. And like everyone freaks out about like Trump using the, you know, the tariffs, like all these tariffs that are in negotiation with different fucking states. And then he was just like, you know what? If you don't want to negotiate here, we'll just send you the bill. Right? It's like, God damn, bro. That is like, now you have to come to the table. And the other thing that does, like if Trump's looking for a win in the media and he's got how many countries around the world that you can make trade deals with. So that means every week there's going to be a new country or a couple new countries coming to the table and making a trade deal with America because they don't want their tariffs to go up, right? Which means every week there's going to be 1 to 5 stories about how Trump was right about tariffs again and how you fucking dipshit fucking Democrat pundit talking head fucking motherfuckers need to sit down and shut the fuck up. He's a brilliant tactician. He's actually like, I don't know, man. He's mastered social media in ways that I don't think any other human being. I mean, maybe you could make an argument for somebody, but I don't think you could. Honestly, I can't think of anybody who has mastered social media and the way that he's able to. I wouldn't say manipulate, but influence society is uncanny. It's beyond what anybody else is. He's in a league of his own, you know. Anyway. Golden Dome Diddy Daddy.
No,
I don't know, like the whole Epstein thing gives me some pause because I don't know. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with I forget the chick's name, but she's the most famous Epstein client list victim. She was that chick who was pictured with Prince, whatever the fuck, and like Bill Clinton. There's a picture of her and Bill Clinton hanging out together. Andrew. Who recently died, right? She was involved in some scandal, and then it was some weird fucking like series of events that led to her death that seemed kind of suspicious, and we don't really know what happened with it, and blah blah blah. It's typical story, right? Typical thing behind these. Well, it turns out that her original employment was at Mar-a-Lago, and that's where Epstein met her and scalped her off of Trump by hiring her or paying her more money or enticing her or whatever it did. Now, that's not to say that she was giving fucking like billionaire hand jobs back then, but that's not to say that she wasn't either. You know, like that's kind of sketch, bro. Doesn't prove anything, but it's kind of sketch. Palette of Diddy Lube. Oh man, if I knew we were sucking Trump off, I'd have worn my sucking Trump off shoes. I was
out of curiosity,
bro. I was like literally just saying how like Trump is suspect, but okay.
I'm gonna interject in here in this one. I don't think people realize when it comes to the Alaska deal, because I didn't realize this until I saw a video last night about it, of how important this truly is in our lifetime right now. We're witnessing history, people. Because if we can get this done with Russia, we can completely cut out the entire European Union right now from all future trade deals.
Yeah, I'm done with the European Union.
And that's a huge fucking deal because it also tells us we can tell NATO to go fuck off too.
Well, whoever thought of doing it in Alaska? Like that was a good move. Because like,
Apparently, the reason is because the ice caps, I guess, are finally cracking enough to open up trade routes. That's what it is there.
sweet, go global warming.
Yes. Might get some good fishing in too.
You know, like one thing about global warming that most people don't talk about is there was this thing called the medieval warm period, right?
Mhm.
Where the temperature on planet Earth, average daily temperature, was actually like a degree or two higher than it is today. Before industrialization, before mechanization, before human beings started fucking producing carbon dioxide and methane and all the other fucking things that we dump into the atmosphere, it was warmer than it is today. We're talking, like I forget what year exactly, but look it up. There's a period of time called the medieval warm period, and during that period, there was more human thriving around the planet than any other time in like history as far as pre-mechanization, right? Like since mechanization, since we've been able to industrialize, human productivity has gone like hyperbolic. Like we produce more than we ever did. So you have to go back to before then. And before then, the best time for humanity was the medieval warm period, at least as far as written records go, right? It might have been better at some time in prehistory or something. We don't fucking know. But point being, that's the period of time when the temperature on Earth was hotter than it is today. The weather patterns were more stable and calm back then. The like winters were milder and more predictable. The rainfall came like more predictably. Crop harvests were better and more plentiful. They were able to farm at higher elevations and further north. And then, yeah, like when things cooled down during the Dark Ages, which came after the medieval warm period, things got fucked up, right? Like, and that's when you got the bubonic plague, and that's when people started starving to death, and that's when you got wars over territory and all of these, like, who fucking knows all of the bad things that happened because of how, like, it dropped a couple degrees. And we're not exactly sure why. I think the theory currently is that there was some volcano in, like, the South
Ohio.
Islands or something. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it put enough soot in the air where. Have you ever heard of the worst year in history?
Yes.
Was it like 639 or something like that? I forget what it was.
Oh,
But-
no. Sorry, I'm thinking of the year without a summer.
Oh, no, there was this one specific year where summer came, but like the sun never fucking shined bright enough to warm everything up. So it was the summer without a summer. And then the next winter was really bad. And so it was like two or 3 years before they could even have a good harvest, and like even then it wasn't a good harvest. It was just like light enough to have a harvest.
Yeah.
Wait, what did he say? It was again?
536. Yes, Lead on Steel knows what I'm talking about.
What? 536.
AD, that's the year.
530.
Like 536 years after the death of Christ.
So,
Oh,
what
does
was
that
it called again? What was it called?
I've heard it called the worst year in history. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, people don't really know what happened. And like the end of the Younger Dryas, when like the ice caps melted and like we presumably got hit by a meteor or a comet or something like that broke up like Shoemaker Levy 9 and crashed into the earth and like made mini tsunamis in some places and melted fucking ice and hit basically North America harder than anywhere else and wiped out basically. Well, it didn't actually wipe out the woolly mammoth all in one swoop. There were pockets of woolly mammoth that lived up until I think about 2,000 years ago was when the last one died. But they were all like these miniature woolly mammoths that lived on an island, So they don't really count, I don't think. But kind of. Anyway. Yeah, dude, like all of these things happen without human beings like adding to or subtracting from or making worse or better the environment. We were just here. We were just natural fucking animals like anybody else living here and subject to the evictions of the cosmos, as it were. and we almost got evicted off this planet. I mean, there's a record of a human bottleneck, meaning basically like only one small population of humans survived, everyone else died.
Okay, they said it was a massive volcano eruption
Right,
that
right,
caused it. Okay,
Yeah, that was the year without a summer.
okay.
right. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but doesn't matter, dude. Like, there's crazy shit that the point being,
You were
there's
talking
crazy
about
shit
near
that's
extinction
happened,
humanity.
and humanity, as far as our technology goes, had nothing to do with it. And there's still some mystery about it. Like, we still don't really know why the Ice Age ended. Like, we have part reasons, but who knows? Like, maybe the comet came in and part of it crashed into the sun, which released like solar fucking radiation like a motherfucker, like we've never seen before in written history. I don't know. Like, there's all kinds of fucking theories as to what might have melted that much ice that quickly. But the fact is, that much ice melted that quickly. They do know that for a fact. I don't know, I'm terrible. I'm very interested in this shit. I remember watching. You know what got me interested in this subject?
Mhm.
Conan the Barbarian. When I was a little kid, watching fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger run through the run through prehistory fucking like civilizations and like fucking Pulse of Doom and all of these things that have happened, and like girls like fucking being fed to snakes and shit that are so big that they can't exist anymore. Like, man, like, what are the possibilities of prehistory? What are the what could have happened? What epic stories of humanity happened before we were able to write it down, or maybe we were able to write it down, and it's just sitting somewhere buried for us to find under the waves somewhere or something. I don't know, man. It's cool. It's cool.
I'm gonna go out on the limb and say that it sucked.
That what sucked?
Existing.
Living in them times.
Yeah, I'm sure probably in some ways it did, but like, think about this. The human beings have been evolving into our current form from a relatively similar form for the past roughly 400,000 years, So there were humans that were basically the same as us 400,000 years ago that were living in tribal fucking situations with 10 to a couple hundred people in a tribe. And it was never more than that, because if it got bigger than that, like, things got fucking crazy and it didn't work. And the tribes would split up and then you'd have two tribes. You know what I mean? So Schwartz of what? Glad someone caught that. But yeah, so point being, for hundreds of thousands of years, the way human beings have evolved to thrive has been in tribal society, and we live today in this like weird like civilization that's not tribal, but it is tribal, or at least they use tribal tendencies that have been ingrained in us to control us and to manipulate people into doing things that they want us to do. I don't know, man. Like, I think in some ways we were probably better off. In some ways we were probably happier living like that. We probably didn't live as long, and you have a fucking impacted tooth that gets infected, like, you're fucking done, bro. You're over. Like, no more life for you, and that sucks. And you're going to die a fucking painful death, right? And that's how you probably watched your mother and father die, and you probably lost a couple kids too, So things were hard, don't get me wrong, but things were always hard for humans until recently. We're the most recent iteration of humanity that just happens to have been pampered and fucking taken care of for our entire life. We don't know what it's like. And you think about like your grandparents and my grandparents, like the things that they dealt with, they were hard compared to us, but they were soft compared to their grandparents.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't know.
Well, my father's job back when he was a kid was to pick cotton in South Carolina.
Couldn't get away, could he?
No.
Were they sharecroppers?
I don't even remember. I just remember him talking about how that was a job. Now, I think he worked for, like whoever owned the land, some shit like that.
I've had lots of jobs in my time, and a lot of them have sucked. In fact, almost all of them have sucked, and all of them have sucked at one point or another.
Yeah. And my grandfather was a coal miner. My great grandfather was a coal miner.
You're from your family's from West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, on my mother's side. Father's side, South Carolina. My mother's side, West Virginia.
So I was reading this thing about slave owners in the United States, right? And how only 2% of the population actually owns slaves. It's like, okay. But what about if you just isolate it to the southern states? Oh, well, then it's like more like 4.5%. Okay, but that's per family, right? So if you take away the kids and the wives and stuff who couldn't own slaves and just do it per household, what percentage of households own slaves? Oh, it's more like 25%, right? Oh, but you're counting the slaves too, right? Because the total population includes the slaves, so we got to take out the 4 million slaves that were down there. All right, so now it's more like 33% of households in the South during slavery in 1860 owned slaves. Is that crazy? That's a lot, I feel like. All right, good talk.
Well, you can also factor
I was
in,
literally talking
too,
about to say something else.
there was a lot of
I was
black
just
slave
waiting.
owners, too, back in those days.
Sorry, I do that sometimes to you guys. I
Yeah.
apologize. I fucking go on these long diatribes where I just talk and talk and talk and talk. That's my bad. Matt does the same thing though. He does
Yes.
that. Where he doesn't let anyone talk for a long time. And it's like, man, I had a point, but you just kept talking for so long that I forgot what it was.
What were you saying, Ohio?
I was going to say there's a lot of people that will never admit there's a lot of black slave owners from back in those days, too.
I think
That
that
were,
was
like,
one of
free
the
black
first
men and
ones.
stuff like that. Yeah, it was a lot of free
The
black men
first-
in, like, semi-northern states that would own slaves after the fact.
The one in Louisiana, he was like the worst slave owner that ever lived, too. He was a black guy.
I bet. Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There are stories about freed black slaves or free black people from the north who moved to the south and buy slaves. And yeah, like I forget what was that guy's name? I heard stories about him.
I'd have to look it up real quick. Give me just a second.
Yeah, but there's one black guy who's like an ex-slave who's just like the meanest motherfucker ever. He's like way worse than the white dudes were normally. I'm sure not every.
It was William Ellison Jr. Oh, I'm sorry. He was in South Carolina. He was a breeder, too.
Oh,
He was a
wow.
breeder.
Yep.
Probably
had
a
a breed.
relative.
Dude, that's one thing that's kind of weird in the United States. And I'm sure this happened at some point in history also, but it also happened here where a group of people were specifically bred to be bigger and stronger and, able to lift more or whatever. So they'd get like the big black dude slave and they'd get the big black woman slave and they'd make them have kids and those kids would be worth more because they're like the big black kid slaves, Crazy. But then you watch the NFL draft
NFL.
today and it's like, oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Or like that South Park episode. Which Carton was talking about buying basketball teams.
Oh. Yeah. Or the other one that's kind of funny about slavery and like modern equivalents is illegal immigration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you let all these people into the country who have substandard rights when it comes to the law because they're not actually citizens of this country, yet we let them in anyway in order to do work and labor for jobs that aren't allowed to hire them and yet are, right? It's like this weird system of slavery. And then when we're like, hey, we should stop doing this weird system of slavery, it takes advantage of people. Like children die with their mothers crossing the desert to get here. It's like it's bad for a lot of people, right? And it would be good to end it. And who argues against ending it? The left.
Democrat Party.
Yeah, the left. The people, the Democrats. which is weird to me because the other part is the Democrats used to be the ones who were against illegal immigration because they were actually for the working people. But somewhere along the way, the Democrats decided that they wanted power, not they didn't want to represent anybody. They wanted to represent themselves or something. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah. Anyway,
I find it also very interesting that a lot of the highest voices of Democrats that are bitching and moaning about illegal immigration and picking crops and stuff like that tend to be black Democrats. The idiot Jasmine Crockett goes on tirades like that a lot.
About being pro-immigration.
About being for basically slave labor at this point.
Right. Well, and that's also funny because who does immigration hurt the worst? Right? Oh, it tends to hurt the lowest rung of economic society, right? The people who are doing the worst or have the worst jobs in your society do worse when you let a bunch of people in. Because now they're all competing for those shitty jobs. And so those shitty jobs and the companies that have them can compete to the lowest common denominator and pay people less and less and less, right? Which ends up lowering their standards. Like, did you see that the video of the Pan Jeep guy who fucking was driving the 16-wheeler and killed the family?
Yes.
Yeah. It was in California.
It had no emotion on his face.
Yeah, he's just like, well, they should have hit their brakes or something. Like that's the fucking look he had. And like, not my fault. Yeah, it kind of is your fucking fault, bro, because people aren't used to people doing fucking India moves on the fucking highway. I know that shit flies in fucking Pakistan, but if you're going to be a fucking CDL holder here in the United States, there's goddamn rules that apply. And if you're not going to be able to follow them, we don't want you here.
Have you ever seen the videos of India's deadliest roads and stuff? Where they go up the cliffs and the caves and stuff like that? That's what it is.
That's all of their roads.
Yep. That's even
They
the
did an
side
Ice
roads.
Road Truckers season about it, though. And there was a couple of those people that went over there and they're just like, we're not even leaving the city. Because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Top Gear and them went over there like 15 years ago, and Jeremy Clarkson was real close to the edge of a cliff.
Bro, I'm having a real tough time hearing you.
Is that
You
better?
kind of muted a little bit. And there's some static when you talk.
I'm sorry, dude.
Is that better now?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay.
Have you seen the I think it's in Pakistan where they like there's like Himalayan mountains in Pakistan that they have fucking like these van routes or their buses. They have bus routes that go through.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they're barely wide enough for the tires on the bus. And these dudes just go fucking like they're driving those motherfuckers with like 30, 40 people on the bus with like 1 inch of fucking of error. And I'm sure it happens where those things have to go over the edge sometimes.
Yeah,
You know?
it's the same thing with India, and they go all the time.
There's crosses all over those mountains where people fall off.
And you would think like, okay, we have like 1 billion fucking people because we're Pakistan. And, like we might not have the best fucking tools or whatever, but we have enough labor to throw at anything. Maybe we could throw some labor at widening that road a little bit. Nah, we can't do that.
Nope.
That's beyond question.
And they can drive on whatever side they want to, so when they come up on somebody, then they decide who's going to get what side. That's another thing. They don't know how to fucking put it all in order like a normal civilization.
Yeah, bro, I don't get it. I don't get why this is allowed now. Why the standards have dropped so much. Is it that we had no kids and then we didn't train the kids that we had to actually work? Is this the result of that, or like what are we? Is this the fourth turning? Like the weak men creating hard times. Now we're living in the hard times, so we got to create strong men, but we haven't got there yet.
Yep.
Yes.
I think so. Yep.
What really pissed me off was this past Friday, there was a group of Indian foreign nationals that raised the Indian flag over the Ohio State House.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty shitty.
I don't understand. Okay, that's another one I don't understand. Like, wow, things are bad in India. They're so bad that I'm willing to like risk my life and my family's life and hop on a boat and go across the ocean and cross a border illegally and come into the country and get a passport and do all these things to be here, right? But now that I'm here, I'm gonna fucking put my flag from my shit fucking country that I literally just fled for my life from on top of this building to show my pride. Like, what the fuck, dude? You should be
Well,
kissing my fucking boots for letting your fucking dirty, smelly ass into this fucking country. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure what they did is actually a felony in the state, and they could be deported for it because I know a lot of them are from a group that is pro H-1B visas, which obviously we talked about, I think, a couple weeks ago about how there was all those Indians that are in the tech industry that don't have the knowledge to actually be in the tech industry. And I guess now North Carolina's passed a law where you can have foreign doctors taking care of American patients without having to go through American training to be in the medical profession of being a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it affects everything. Like you hire these people who can't speak English very well, who barely know how to fucking code or whatever, know how to code good enough, but kind of suck at it too. So like lowest common denominator, will pay you guys to do the coding. And it happened at my work, right? And an example of that is when I have to ring in a Jello shot. Jello starts with a G in the computer because they don't know what the fuck Jello is. They're like, oh, Jello. So unless you know to look under G for Jello because you couldn't find it because when you looked under J, it wasn't fucking there. And then you have to be like, oh, thanks a lot, fucking India.
Well, now I will say that there's a lot of people in the UK that when we say jelly for like grape jelly, they think we mean grape jello too. So they're fucking dumb too.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, it could have been that menu could have been coded by some Xennial that's never had Jello.
I can't hear you either, dude.
Said it could have
Mine's
been
better.
programmed by somebody that's never had Jello,
And that's what I'm saying, dude.
like an
Well,
American.
How many American children have never had Jello or seen
Right.
fucking what's his name? Bill Cosby.
Cosby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the,
Jello.
exactly.
Well-
It's in the commercial.
Gelatin starts with a G, so that's what
That's-
they thinking.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
Right. So
true.
if they're like, I don't know what this is, let me look it up in the dictionary. Oh, gelatin starts with a G, so we're gonna make it G. That's exactly what happened because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah. Now the brand Jello, right? Jello, just like the commercial.
Whatever. I'm
Leads
tired
to
of
chloroform.
Unless you want to talk about the way they cook their food on the streets. In which case,
I don't.
ranting
Oh,
again.
it's
Oh
the
my
best
god!
ever.
Not only the way they cook it, but the way they fucking eat it.
It gives me diarrhea just watching them.
Oh, like how is it normal to scrape fucking food off the sidewalk and eat it?
You say you
Yeah,
never
or like
done
they
it?
have these temples, you know, like where everyone comes and you get fed at the temple for free, and it's all these like non-meat dishes. It's just lentils and rice and fucking bullshit, right? But like the way that they feed the people is they go through and they like put water all over the floor and then like scrub it and then put more water on the floor and then like squeegee it
Yeah.
and then put more water on the floor and then they put your food down and then you eat off of the floor with your hands because what in the like how do you not have a giant cockroach problem? You probably do. How do you not have a giant rat problem? You probably do.
Man, you just snag them up while you're eating. That's just extra protein.
And putting water on the floor does nothing but make a pool of germs.
Exactly.
Right? You need soap and shit, other shit in there, bleach and something.
Yeah, I think they need lots of soap. Or the other thing is like, okay, they're like there's a manufacturing video from India, right? And they're making like some piece of metal, and then they have like a pile of them, and they could put them on a table and sit in a chair and work on the thing on the table on the chair, right? But no, they just plop them in the fucking dirt, and then
Yeah.
they all sit down like fucking like crisscross fucking Indian style or something, and work for like 17 hours and then stand up with like scoliosis back and wonder why they're, you know, like, oh my god.
Kind of like they were making the mask during the confetti on the floor.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's gonna fucking keep me fucking clean. Like, no, man, you're getting germs just from putting on that mask. You're getting some weird fucking form of Indian fucking cooked up bacterium that no one's even seen before.
I like how they work in factories with sandals on.
The utmost safety.
Right.
How many Americans have never played a cello?
I never played a cello.
I played a bass once. That was pretty fun.
Played a tuba once.
I played a trombone and a baritone.
I used to play clarinet.
I played a skin flute.
Oh, fuck.
I played the drums for a little while in a Christian band. That was not cool, by the way. It was really not cool.
I think everybody started on the recorder at school.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I could still play Hot Cross Buns right now if you want me to. If I had a
Yeah.
recorder.
Mary had a little lamb.
Click on a little star.
Hani plays the rusty trombone. Oh, furniture is optional. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, any other subjects? You got any more brain busters for me? Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, I did get a nice freedom wake up this morning by the Thunderbirds.
The
Oh,
fucking
nice.
Thunderbirds?
Yeah. Almost felt like the whole house shook, thinking the plane was going to crash into my house and shit. So that was a nice wake up call and a mini heart attack. So
Do you hope that the troops will be sent to Chicago at some point to bring back law and order?
we can only hope and wish.
Like, honestly, dude, I think it if you had like a shock and awe program, kind of effectively, right, where you go to these fucking cities that are shit and run down, and you got crime and homelessness and all this stuff going on, and you came in with federal money and federal troops and all this, federal programs, and you got all the homeless people off the streets, and you put them in fucking like mini houses somewhere or something, and like arrested all the criminals and get all the fucking people who need to be deported out and clean everything up, and then just go to the next city. Just fix every city one at a time.
No, because you know what? It's going to end up back the same way. So really, you're spending money for nothing.
Well, I mean, the other problem
You had to change the regime in these cities.
The other problem is you give the left all of the ammunition that they require for calling Trump a dictator. It's bad enough for the narrative anyway that he's doing that in DC, right? Because now they have that. It's like they finally got a bone with some meat on it. Now they're fighting over the bone, and you can hear them cackling like hyenas talking about this shit, because they finally got Trump about something. Oh, well, he's a dictator. He's. It's always about what he's going to do, not what he's done, what he plans on doing, and it's about how they can get into his mind and read his thoughts, and they know that this was his intention, and they know that this, they don't know shit, and they're just talking out their ass, and it's all opinion fucking reporting these days, and I hate that, dude. Just stick to the fucking facts, tell us what you fucking know, and if you have an opinion about it, keep it to your fucking retarded self. I'm sorry.
No, like they say, Trump could cure cancer, and they'll find something wrong with it. So, like, I don't even listen to what the fuck they got to say. I just ignore whatever the fuck they got to say. Just continue to just do what you do. Just fuck them. That's all I got to say. Fuck whatever they got to say. They can yell or complain all they want.
Well, I have friends that are, I would call them anti-Trump. Like one friend in particular that I'm thinking of, that Dewey out there actually knows. And I won't name his name. Actually, I will, because no one knows who the fuck he is here. His name's Ribbit. And he's very anti-Trump. And I like him. He's a cool dude. And he's also really, really, really fucking smart. Right? Like when you talk to someone who's really smart and they think about something major like the president in a completely different light than you do, it kind of gives you pause for a second. Right? But I think there's something to that. I think that the really, really smart people have maybe a blind spot, or I'm not sure what it is, but Yeah, I don't know where I'm going either. It's hard to argue with him though, because like you're like, hey, why don't you like Trump? Oh well, because he's not gonna bring us to the Star Trek future, right? Like, okay, did you think Biden was? Did you think Kamala Harris was gonna get us there? Like, no, I don't think so at all. And I think if we were headed to some sort of a Star Trek future, like Trump would be the most likely person out of the candidates in 2024 to get us there. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Or like another one was how bad the tariffs are going to be, and they're going to cause this to go up, and they're going to cause that to go up. And I work in manufacturing, and I know things that you guys don't. And then a month goes by, and no one's talking about that because nothing that they were worried about, at least so far, has come to fruition. The prices of things have not gone up. The price of goods or whatever have not, everything stayed basically this, like maybe a little bit marginally on a few things. I guess like you pay a little bit extra for coffee, but it's such a small amount, especially in the amounts that most people are consuming. When you buy a can of coffee, and you pay an extra like $1 or something, you don't even fucking notice, I don't think.
Right.
Apparently, I guess Walmart is now raising prices on American goods and trying to blame the tariffs on them.
They got to blame it on somebody just to raise prices.
Yeah.
Right, and that's like a Sig P 320 type argument. It's like, oh, well, the gun keeps going off, so when I had a accidental fucking discharge and shot somebody, I can just blame it on the gun. And I'm sure there is some of the cases that are real where the gun just went off because, it obviously has happened because it's been caught on video. But I guarantee you there's cases where the dude's like, oh, fuck, the gun just went off,
Yeah.
And here's the question from what you asked earlier about Chicago. It's two ways I can look at it. Like, would I like to see troops on the ground here to calm down on the crime? Yes. But also, I feel like if we start having them in all these cities, would it mean that also they try to make you used to seeing it? So now you have troops on the ground, like always, in American cities,
Right?
which can lead to, something else.
Yeah, you're essentially talking about standing army, which is not legal in this country.
Well, and then the other thing that does is the more you do it, the more the criminals learn the tactics and the methods and learn how to avoid it, and the less effective it is. So, like, the first group of troops that go off into the first city would catch, let's say, just as an argument, the majority of the crime, right? But by the time they're, like, in the fifth city, the criminals are like, oh, they're deploying to our city now? Like, I've already seen how they do things. I know where I shouldn't go. I know when I shouldn't be out. I know, how to avoid a good portion of these fucking traps that they're going to set for people and not get caught. And so they're going to spend the time and the money and the effort, and they're not going to actually get rid of the crime. Because they can't, like you said, unless they plan on staying there forever. So you got to leave at some point. And so all the criminals have to do is outlast the Inquisition.
The big difference with DC too is that it's actually a federal territory, and they can't do that stuff in Washington DC, where they can't do it in any other state legally.
I'm just thinking about if or when the Democrats get back in power, how they would try to use the same thing, but it's going to be against us.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. With how the Democrats are polling right now, I know that traditionally the way it works is the incumbent presidential party tends to lose the first midterm in between that and like the next presidential race, which is coming up, which traditionally means that they're about to lose power in the House and or Senate, right? They'll still have the presidency, but they won't have the House. So that means that now all of the Democrats get together and they start doing the persecutions, but they're so wildly unpopular that I don't know if they're going to be able to muster the votes, especially in a midterm election when things are going markedly better than the talking heads are saying they're supposed to be going. Like they're screaming Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and everyone's looking around and there's like butterflies and fucking rainbows and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
They also don't have the overall numbers either, because when it came to that whole Texas gerrymandering thing a while back now, people have figured out that Democrats have pretty much already gerrymandered every single blue state in this country right now. And if red states actually did the same thing right now, we could probably wipe out about 15 to 20 Democrats in like 4 states forever and just make them pure red seats for that matter. And you could have the GOP just take over for at least the next 20 years.
I mean, they're saying like, oh, Colorado doesn't do that. Colorado. Yeah. Okay. Look at our representation. We're basically vote 40% Republican. And we have, I think, 10% Republican representation. So, yeah, you do it here, too. Shut the fuck up.
Well, just like a little dick tentacle fucking district in Illinois there.
Yeah.
Where it's like all in just like this giant red thing. It's like this little blue, like, squiggly line, basically.
Lines, yeah. They cut through the state, yeah. Hey, I was watching the story, Honda. I don't know if you heard of it. There's like some communist people trying to create their own city within the mountains in Colorado. Have you heard about that?
Nowhere. I want to go visit them and call them retarded.
I'll send you a link afterwards where I was listening to this. I think it was like the Anthony Acumia show, one of them. They were making jokes about it.
I was reading about in Colorado. They found all these rabbits with like weird fucking horns growing out of their faces and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, it looks like some zombie fucking, you don't want that shit near your fucking front door stuff. I'm not sure what part of Colorado. I assume it's probably like the plains where the rabbits all live, but I'm not sure because there's rabbits in my neighborhood, you know? I haven't seen any with horns, but yet anyway.
Yeah, they claimed it was like an extra DNA sequence that was unlocked or something like that. And I'm just like, so they were escaped from a lab then?
Is that actually what they said? I thought I just
assumed they were claiming it was like some extra DNA piece or something in their system that was able to like activate or some shit.
I heard it was some type of disease that was going around.
Yeah, I thought it was like a fungal infection, but I don't know.
Right.
Dude, have you heard about I don't know if it's like a shot or like a treatment or pills that you take or whatever the fuck it is, but supposedly they have a method now of giving you this treatment, whatever it is. And like, let's say you're like 50 years old and you're wearing dentures because all your teeth went bad and they got pulled out. Well, you take this shot or whatever the fuck it is, and you grow a new set of teeth.
Yes, I was reading that in one of those random
Japan
Google articles that pop up. Yeah, I heard about that.
I feel like, I mean, you know, I guess in like 50 years, if that's just like the way dentists work now, you know, it's like, oh, your teeth are going bad. Time to pull them out and give you the shot. And that's just what people do. Like, okay, fine. Like, I guess that's what everyone's doing and it seems to work out for most people. So let's do it. But I wouldn't want to be an innovator in that fucking realm.
No.
It seems to me that's how you get like super AIDS tooth cancer in your groin or something, you know? I don't know.
Or what if it gets so good that it could be like designer? Like, what if I want some big canines in my mouth? Something.
Yeah, bro. I want some like fucking fangs.
Yeah.
Get some blade vampire teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Daywalker.
It does seem kind of interesting to me that because you have like the mongoose that can absorb it as venomous snakes bites and stuff like that because it has some protein that like eats it basically. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been some scientist that's like splicing the DNA for humans now at this point.
Well, you're not allowed to do genetic manipulation like that with human beings in the United States. Do you know who has done some of that?
China,
Russia,
China,
and probably half a dozen other countries. Like there was a story about, I think it was out of Russia, where they had the human chimpanzee hybrid
Mm-hmm.
that walked upright and didn't have hair but looked like a chimp and had like emotions and ended up killing somebody or something. I forget the whole story, but there's video of him. He was very real. I don't know if he was half human or not, but he didn't look like a normal chimp. And if there was a mix between a chimp and a human, it would probably look like that thing.
I just looked up your teeth regrowing thing, and it said it should be available on the market by 2030.
Right, dude. Isn't that crazy?
That is. That's nuts.
So yeah, if like all your teeth are falling out, and you know, you probably don't have much longer to live anyway. You might as well get a fucking tooth shot and eat some steaks again.
Yeah. Might as well enjoy it.
What if it's not a shot in your arm? What if it's a shot in each individual socket?
I don't know what it is, dude.
Ooh.
I wouldn't care about it because they numb you up for that anyway. Like,
Oh yeah.
the shot so that you get numb, and then you do that every time you go to the dentist.
Hey, but you know how they numb you up? They put a shot in your gums.
Yeah,
So it's still.
dude. I had a root canal a couple years back. Didn't really have money for it, so I went to the dental school where they do these things for pretty cheap. You know,
Mhm.
you can get a fucking root canal done, that kind of thing. Let me just warn you guys that if you ever have to do this, don't go to the fucking dental school. It does not work out how you think it is. It will. These are students. They're prone to fuck things up. If they fuck your tooth up, they get a bad grade. You lose a tooth. And I am currently missing a tooth in my face because of a dental school. Yeah, and then the other thing is, like, they make you come in for an appointment, and they have to do this whole checklist because they're a student, and it takes forever. And then by the time they actually start working on you, you've already been there for 2 hours, and it's like a 3-hour appointment. And, like, so they only get, like, 15 minutes of actual work on you for any appointment. Versus if you go to a dentist, you sit in the chair, they're doing work the whole fucking time, So I think it was like 15 appointments or something like that I ended up doing, give or take.
Jesus.
Yeah. To lose a tooth. And every single time they'd have to go in there and stab my vein and, whatever it is, the nerve in the back of your mouth, and numb your whole fucking jaw up. And they stabbed it so many times that I started becoming like immune to the stab juice. So they had to give me like the more powerful stab juice. So now when I go to the dentist, I just have to be like, bro, like, I know you got 2 kinds of stab juice. Just give me the good shit. Don't even fuck with that other stuff. It's not going to work.
They eliminate your gag reflex.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe someone else out there had a better experience at a fucking dental school. I did not. Fuck that shit.
You don't mind having a fuck up that
I have no idea what you
Right. You're underwater.
if you get a fucking haircut.
Yeah,
I
you're
still
still
don't know what
underwater.
you said. Yay. He's the gay frog version of Blade with all the GMO food and chemicals in the water, turned him into a half werewolf, half vampire.
Is that better now?
Yeah.
Okay. What I was saying is, if you don't mind having a fucked up haircut, barber colleges are pretty cheap.
That's different, because if they fuck up your haircut, you wait 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and you go see another person and they fix it, And
in the meantime, you wear a hat.
it's not some painful fucking procedure that you're going to have to, like, go through 10 times more pain because they're a student and they don't know what they're fucking doing, so that you save not even that much money. It was real. Like, I will never do that again. And then, oh my God, dude. So, like, they had one student who was assigned to me for that tooth. And I was like, well, I've got a whole mouth of teeth. If I'm coming here every day, every week to come and see you to be a dentist, I might as well have someone look at the rest of my mouth too. And this girl got assigned to me. And we had one appointment together. And I found her to be so inept and so unknowledgeable about what she was talking about that I canceled every further appointment with her and decided to just go to a regular dentist to get the rest of my mouth looked at, which I should have just done in the first place. Bit the bullet, got on some kind of payment program, you know what I mean? Figured it out. But word to the wise. Go to fucking Comfort Dental. They got programs, dude. Pay like $10 a month, and then you know, it's like basically you have dental insurance. Yeah, see, Eduardo's got it right. The free dentist drives, that's what you need to look out for. Because, like, occasionally, it's like once a year, an annual thing. Dentists are required, in order to keep their license, are required to do a certain amount of charity work. So one of the ways that they do it, and most people don't know about this, is they'll do a dental drive where they'll set up they'll have like a fucking mobile unit and like, I don't know, like a bus or something where they'll have 2 chairs and they'll have like 4 dentists who are working the 2 chairs just round the fucking clock, running fucking, you know, like doing scans and making dentures and doing whatever the fuck they do. And if you can find one of those, if you need some work, you get in line, they'll do your tooth for free. They just fix your fucking tooth. Now you have a free fucking tooth that's fixed. The problem is it's when they do it, not when you want it or when you need it. So that's how they get you. Yeah, I was watching this breakdown of how much dentists make versus how much you make if you do HVAC, right? And everyone knows that dentists do pretty good, right? If you're a dentist, you do pretty good. And, you know, if you do HVAC, you also do okay. So there, it's pretty comparable. The difference is in the schooling, right? Because it takes like 6 or 8 years, or I forget how long it takes to become a dentist. You're basically a fucking doctor, right? And so you're ending school with $250,000 worth of debt for dental school after 6 years of going to school, versus an HVAC, you make $60,000, $70,000 the first year that you do it. And it goes up from there to the point where after 5 years, you're making over 100, 120, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
So after 5 years, you've already made, you know, close to $400,000. And the other person's $250,000 in debt. So you're starting off after 5 years, $650,000 better off than the dentist. And it takes the dentist something like 30 years to catch up to you.
There's a lot of skilled trades like that, though. Plumbers are very in demand right now, and you can make several $100,000 a year just being a plumber now.
Yeah, have you ever seen that episode of South Park? Where
Yes,
there's the handyman guy who just ends up owning everything because no one knows how to fix anything.
Yeah, but you never actually see him going to places to do jobs, which I think is even funnier.
You can tell how much a dentist charges by how new his Porsche is. I think you could find some reviews online and pick a pretty good dentist who's going to help you out if you're in a financial situation, you know? Because there are dentists who just like feel for people and are like, you know what? I do drive a fucking Porsche and I make a fucking bunch of money and I can fix your tooth and make your life better for basically an afternoon's work for me. So let's go ahead and just fix your shit up. They do that sometimes. Then again, they're required to do a certain amount of charity work, so that would count towards that.
Why are dentists required that, but other medical professionals not?
Others are. Doctors are required to also. So there.
Or you have to do a certain amount for your residencies is what it is.
Well, there's that, but there's also annual, and I think it depends on state ordinances. I don't think it's like a federal thing, right? But so I'm sure there's states that don't have it, but I know in Colorado they do. So And I'm sure in other states they do too. And I'm sure there's probably states where they don't, honestly. I'm sure like, Missouri or something's like, fuck you, pay for your own shit. Like
Nebraska.
I think we're headed for a fucking period of time where capitalism doesn't work anymore. What do you guys think about that? That's an argument to have.
I don't. Nah. Nah.
Well, because think about this.
I think capitalism still. Nah.
You have
Go ahead.
further and further and further mechanization, and now we've got AI and self-driving cars and factories where you have like a couple people doing what used to be hundreds of people's worth of work, fucking producing things or whatever. So we're producing more and more, and we have less and less jobs. And at some point, that's going to reach a tipping point where just the number of people doesn't make sense. And the economy doesn't work because people aren't making money and because they don't have jobs, but they also don't qualify for Social Security or unemployment or anything like that. So they're just kind of in like limbo and like living homeless. And like, what do you do with all these useless people who can't find a job or won't find a job or whatever the case is? I mean, there's two ways you can go with it, right? You can either go full Hitler and just start killing people that you don't need or don't want or are undesirable, or you go full socialist and just be like, well, everyone needs to eat, so we got to take care of everybody. Like, what do you do? I'll mute myself while you guys talk about that.
Deport them.
I mean, even if you deport them, still, if the robot's taking over, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we're heading towards that point where it's definitely going to be, and I think Andrew Yang kind of brought up the point of like the whole UBI stuff. The problem was he did not have a good enough platform of how that should be done correctly is what it is. Because you can't just give people money to live on and just expect people to just, not do anything is what it is. The whole entire point of the whole situation there is that we have to innovate right now, I think is what it is, so that when these jobs do become automated and stuff like that, we can still have other people to be ahead of the curve that are going to be needed in other sectors and things like that. And I think that's the problem right now because, like Matt was talking about in one of his chats the other day, there is a lot of things going on right now where we are lacking in just basic infrastructure people. And we could easily be fixing that with prison systems, just giving these people skilled trades as what it is.
I mean, I still think that a universal income is still coming.
It probably is going to happen, and I think unfortunately cashless society is becoming that way too now. And I'm not okay with that either, because that's exactly how you get controlled Demolition Man style.
Well, then you're directly incentivized in that case to reduce the population. The less of population you have, the less people you have to feed, the less checks you have to write, the less housing you have to provide, the less electricity you have to produce, the less gasoline you need to produce, So human beings become a liability. They become a red line on your fucking spreadsheet that you have to balance. And one of the easiest ways to balance that number is to reduce the number of humans that are causing that problem, right? If you have less people eating, well, look how much we've reduced the food bill. If you have less people using electricity, again, you know what I mean? Like, anyway.
And also, I think with the cashless situation, I mean, printed money is damn near worthless anyway, unless you actually have gold coins. So, like, what's the difference between cash and just, a card or printed in your hand or some shit?
If we have a cashless society, inevitably what will happen is there will be some commodity that you can buy with your cashless credits that you can then trade for whatever. So it will be a intermediary like cash, right? Where it's like, I don't know, something that you can buy that doesn't immediately go bad, like food or something, that people want, and that for whatever reason is harder to get, or something. I'm not sure what it would be, and it wouldn't be until there's a cashless society that everyone would like figure out what it is that people would trade for. Maybe it's like weed or something like that. I'm not sure,
Well, there's a lot of those countries in Africa where specifically it's like cattle and like chickens and other animals like that are your currency, because the way that their dollars are fluxing like crazy and hyperinflating like insanity, they have to have that as a stability is what it is.
Yeah, like the way it's been done for thousands of years.
And it would become more of a barter and trade system at that point, I believe, yes.
Right. And then came like the coins.
Well, I mean, that's all cash ever was like, okay, instead of like trading for cows, I could just trade you for these dollars, and if you want cows, you can trade these dollars for cows, or you can trade them for whatever else you want. That way you don't have to carry cows around everywhere. And everyone's like, wow, that's way easier than having cows. So everyone agreed to it, and it, originally it was gold and silver, and how that went, but
yeah.
And then there was women,
Well, I mean,
yeah, prostitution is the oldest
That's the
form
currency.
of
what did they get paid with before?
No,
like,
not like
before
prostitution.
currency.
No, so,
Before
what,
their
not like,
coins, did they just give a chick a ham sandwich and that was it, or what?
wait,
it could have
say that
been
again?
several things. Because
Wait,
it
what
would really
was
be
that?
whatever you need. Like if you need food, yeah, it'd probably be food would be a big thing, but then it would also be like other things, like if you need like a knife or something made for you, it would be some dude making a knife for her.
We just bring chickens.
Or just a bunch of eggs would be a thing too.
Turns out the whores are the only fat people in prehistory.
Well, literally like not really prostitution, but like giving away your daughter. So like what you get in trade, stuff like that.
Are you talking about like a
Right,
dowry?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they pay the dowry to your family.
Right.
So you give away your daughter, and then they give you a bunch of money for your daughter. Or was it your son? I forget which one it is.
It was the daughter that was the valuable one, and they would usually give you like a little piece of land and then maybe like a cow or a horse or something with it. So it'd be like a family farm with like a cow, like 3 chickens, and like a horse or something.
Well, people also used to have like 10 children,
Yeah. Because half of them
20
would
in
die
some
anyway.
cases.
That's why you needed 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 8 of them were going to die of dysentery before the age of 5.
Right. Or the common cold.
Okay,
Well,
here's a question for you guys. And I know the answer for me. How old would you have been when you would have died without modern medicine? Like, at what point did you come across your first medical issue in which, if it weren't for antibiotics or surgery or whatever it is, like if it was like 1800 and put leeches on you and you would have died? You know what I mean?
So maybe
Yeah,
chicken pox.
pretty much.
I think that's probably for everybody. If you
No,
catch
that wouldn't.
chicken
That doesn't kill you though. Like that's something most people would have been
Well,
like,
I think as an adult, right?
yeah.
Or a kid, maybe.
Even then, like it doesn't kill most people.
Yeah, I think it was like
People
3 or
like if for me, for instance, when I think I was 4 years old, I got a splinter in my hand, and it really hurt for my mom to take it out, right? And then it was like a couple weeks later, I got like a big splinter in my hand, and I'm like, oh man, if that little splinter hurt that bad, this big splinter is gonna hurt real bad, and I don't want her to do that, so I hid that fucking thing until I had an infection in my hand with a red streak running up my arm.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, and if that red streak makes it to your heart, you're fucking dead, bro. Like,
Yep.
supposedly. It's like a blood poison infection. Yeah. And they took me to the doctor. They put me on antibiotics. They took the splinter out of my hand. They popped the pus out of my hand, and I was fine,
Yeah.
right? But if it was 1800...
maybe
4
you
years
lose
old,
that.
little Honda.
No, maybe you survive, but you lose that arm.
Yeah, they probably just cut your arm off at that point.
Yeah.
Or like
How
up
did-
to
I would have
That
died as
would-
soon as I was born, so I wouldn't have made it too long.
I remember
yeah,
having a ring. Go ahead.
I had severe pneumonia at like 3 or 4, and that would have taken me out.
I
I had a
had
huge asthma attack that had me in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days. Then I had a
Now-
ringworm on my face. That was that. I don't know what that would kill you. Does a ringworm kill you if it just stay there?
I mean, ringworm is just a fungal infection. I don't know
Yeah.
if it kills you. I think if you had it for long enough, your body would eventually fight it off. I think.
Yeah.
I had jaundice and the cord was wrapped around my neck when I was born, and I was already out, so they'd probably put me to the side.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if it wouldn't have been then when I was 13, my appendix ruptured, so that would have took me out.
And you never know, dude. Like, for instance, like when I was like first grade or kindergarten, I think it was first grade. I was playing at the jungle gym and I hit my head really hard and on this metal thing, and I ended up needing 10 stitches in my head, you know? And like we went to the doctor, they cleaned it out, they gave me the stitches. But if that was 1800, the chances that thing got infected were probably 100%. And
Yeah.
it was in my head, so it would have killed me, you know? Like that's another one. Like, how did kids not die all? They did die all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why parents were like so careful with their kids, and you know,
Yeah, you could be sweeping out the stalls in the barn and you get a rusty nail on your arm and you're dead in like 2 days.
yeah. Can
It
you
wa-
imagine dying of tetanus and all your fucking you get like lockjaw and all your fucking joints start locking up and stuff?
I mean, if you think about it, it's amazing that all of us are still here or are here right now.
Yeah.
Well, with all the environmental poisons that we deal with on a daily basis, it's a goddamn surprise. Like,
Yeah.
no one in the group has like, well, never mind, Corey, never mind, Ohio.
I mean, who knows?
Cancer and crazy
Mine
shit
was
happens.
not environmental cancer. It was due to big pharma. And I've been proved that's can be proven right now. I've had doctors tell me that, but they won't go on camera or actually go on record because then I can sue the shit out of big pharma is what it is.
I feel like a vaccine is environmental. Like it or not, I mean, we're not raised in a vacuum, and you take a shot that's, I guess, part of your environment in a way.
Yeah, like I'll agree to disagree on that one.
That's why I say living back then just sucked. Like, it was on YouTube. They did the popular music of the time. They went from like the 1700s all the way to now.
Mhm.
Even the music just sounded like death and horribleness and
Yeah, but
just dread.
if you had
Like,
been
up
back
until
then, that's
Go
all
ahead.
you would have known, though. If you were like
But-
back then, that's all you'd know.
Right, and like the popular music didn't start to sound happy till like literally like during World War II.
Well, then you also have some of those songs from like the Great Depression where it's people talking about being their own grandpa.
You know, that's all well and fine, but then I counter you with Beethoven, Bach,
Mozart.
Rock Ramen. Yeah, there's some really
Yeah,
great
any classical
composers
music, yeah.
that I don't know. They were like the rock stars of the time, bro. Like, think about that. Like, Beethoven of his time was like fucking David Lee Roth or something, you know? Like,
And
Well, it was
imagine all
also
the
just
ones.
beats, no words.
Imagine all the ones we've never got to hear that didn't keep their music sheets and all that stuff.
and can I say that if I had to choose between like classical gospel music and modern day Christian rock, give me the fucking gospel music every day.
All
of the
day, every day.
Like I hate Christian rock, bro.
There's some pretty good Christian rock / metal
No, there's none.
these days. There's some. You just gotta find it.
There's none.
And not
I
even
found a
the
couple
music.
recently that were pretty good.
I mean, have you looked at the pictures, old pictures from the 1800s? Nobody looked happy.
That's because you had to sit for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half to get your damn picture taken. Like, I'd be pissed too.
Right.
Yeah, they were not happy to sit in one place.
Oh, you just made me think of something. Hold on, I'm gotta find this picture. Oh, here it is. Booyah. Okay, hold on. Here's what everyone needs to look like today. What's stopping you from looking like this?
I don't have 2 ravens. That's why.
You know it's
Out of
illegal
that.
to keep ravens as pets?
Yes.
Yep.
That's something about that they can steal money for you and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're
You
too
can-
smart, and you can train them to do things to fucking steal from people, and then you know, like it's hard to track down the raven.
Yeah.
That's a great picture, though, isn't it?
That's why you just get an eagle, a hawk, or an owl and teach it to steal people's wallets.
But just think about this also. Like right now, we all live better than kings and queens did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We have better medicine. We have better hygiene. We have better food. We have
We have better comfort with, AC and central
AC,
heat.
not even AC, a electrical fan.
Oh yeah, yeah, that too.
Right. Not even that. Right.
Just the ability to move air.
Right.
I was actually watching an
A
interesting.
bicycle. Yeah,
I was watching an interesting video here a couple weeks ago where they were talking about medieval times, and it was discussing how they would have people dedicated to the storage and preservation of food in different spots in the castle, because some spots were colder and some spots were
Yes.
like almost an ice chamber basically,
Yep.
and it was all keeping like things from spoiling that they were about to spoil. Like you had to eat them that day essentially, and like that's why they had feasts and stuff like that. That's what it was.
Yep.
And they also had like smaller patches of, I forget what kind of food it was, buckwheat. That's what it was, that they used to grow like out in like the terraces and stuff like that, because it was easier to harvest and it actually was more plentiful and more.
That reminds me of that scene from that movie Waiting, where he says, "Push the fish, it's about to turn."
Yeah.
That's why when people romanticize the past, I'm like, you're not really thinking too deep about it. It sucked. I know,
Yeah.
like being a knight sounds cool, but the life
Yeah,
sucked.
You
Yeah,
romanticize the pageantry of it all. You don't romanticize the actual living of it.
Right.
You know what's funny
because
though? Is like in the entire history of humanity, we are not the richest generation. We're like the 3rd richest generation that ever existed, right? Like arguably our parents were probably the richest generation. Our grandparents were about as rich, maybe slightly less rich than them, just because technology wasn't quite what it was for the boomers, you know?
Mhm.
And then we're not as rich as our parents were. But we're also richer than like our grandparents were during the Great Depression, and we're richer than anyone before that. Any generation before that was not as rich as us. So we bitch about being the 3rd richest generation in history. I think that's funny.
It's also something too where like the average American is richer than like, I think it's like 87% of the entire rest of the world or something.
Yeah, I was talking to my son about having a car. We were driving by some homeless people. And I'm like, dude, you own more than all of those homeless people.
Yeah.
The thing is, all of those homeless people probably had the opportunity or did own a car at one point and fucked it up. So,
And that's the one sad thing about our society is that you can basically do everything right, and all it takes is like, one job loss, and then you're just fucked, and you're going to be evicted, and now you got an eviction on your record, and nobody's going to rent to you because of that, and it's just like this spiral of mobile homelessness. Then
we are rich with free internet porn. Dude, can you imagine? I remember like back in the day, like we were on a road trip somewhere, and we were at this gas station, and they had a titty magazine on the fucking shelf, and I caught a glimpse of it, and I'm like, oh my god.
Holy shit.
Start thinking about that all day.
It's hard to ride in the car after that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you took that burned image into your mind.
Yep.
And now it's like you just go to the internet and it's like, oh,
There.
what's your imagination? You know,
Yeah.
anything you can think of.
What's your weird thing you want to look at now?
Hell, not even that.
Yeah.
Just go outside in the summertime and
That's
see
true.
how all the women dress now.
That's very true. It makes all those magazines look tame.
Right.
Honestly, it seems to me like modesty that is sort of making the slight comeback, where it's like the longer dress type of like random girls and stuff like that. I
don't
actually find that to be more attractive.
Girls are not as hot as they used to be. There's something in the water that gives them like a fupa or something. I'm not sure what it is. They have premature fupa. They are not as hot as they used to be. I will stand by that statement.
I don't know. I still see a lot of them.
Well, there's some hot chicks out there. Don't get me wrong. But they used to be like everywhere. And now they're more rare, I feel like.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
but I
like that video I posted in Matt's general yesterday with the redheaded girl. She was not great looking in the face, but she had a good energy, and I think she could make a good housewife. But none of these guys were picking her on the other side of the aisle.
Are you talking about when they was divided between the curtain?
Yeah.
No. It was they were just she
No,
was
they-
like standing there. I think her name was like Riley or something, and she was like
Yeah,
giving like
she's
her whole
the one who
spiel.
like travel, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
had. There was a
And none of
curtain
the
there.
guys
They,
wanted to pick her at all.
Right.
they didn't show the
that was a
curtain. There
red
was a
flag.
curtain.
Yeah, it was a curtain.
You know what I
Okay,
think
yeah,
it
that's
is? It's like the Harkonnen, right? You guys watch Dune?
Yes.
The
No.
Harkonnen are like the race of people who live on like the industrial planet planet that's full of poisons and fucking like diseases and shit. And the girls from that planet look kind of fucked up. You know, they're still kind of hot, but they're a little fucked up. I feel like we're the Harkonnens in training.
Let's
Like
see,
we're-
Harkonnens. Let me look at it. Let me look it up.
You don't know what the
For that
Harkonnen are?
stage.
I
I don't
can't.
think I've ever seen Dune.
I never finished Doom. I found it too fucking boring.
Well, god damn it. You need to watch the new movies. They're pretty good. So
Oh,
wait,
I haven't seen none of the new one. Yeah. But the '80s version, I couldn't stand it.
yeah, it was like 70s version, and yeah,
Well, it was the '70s.
it was pretty rough.
Whatever.
What movie
It
we
might be
talking about?
early 80s. I'm not sure, but it's old. Hello,
What
Mr.
movie?
Shot Red.
Hey, how's it going?
Do you have a picture of yourself with ravens?
Ravens.
You need one. I mean, we're about done with the chat. How are you doing though?
Okay. Gotta do some weird car trouble, so the cost is gonna kill me.
What's wrong with your car?
Yeah,
I know all
everybody
about
having
that
car
right now.
trouble.
It was the ABS system. I guess something to deal with the wheel. I guess there's like a motor inside those wheels. So the steering wheels. I gotta change that.
All right. Yeah, I got my son's car's got all kinds of fucking problems, dude. We're gonna have to take apart half the fucking engine and fix everything on it. It's gonna be such a bitch, dude.
Is that the
Mhm.
one you got from that auction thing?
No, the one that I got from the auction is doing great. Yeah, isn't that weird?
What car is the one that needs all the fixing? What type? What kind of car is it?
They are the exact same kind of car.
Oh,
They're both Honda Accords. Almost the same year. The exact same engine. But whatever, it's fine. We'll get it fixed up. Everything is fixable on it. There's nothing beyond repair. The problem was like a couple weeks ago, he was driving it around, or it was like a month or two ago. He was driving it around, and the radiator hose popped off the bottom of the radiator, and all the fluid fucking leaked out of it. And a light popped on his dashboard, but he was just like, there's a light on my dashboard,
Oh no.
and kept driving. And I think he drove to work and then back home and then to work and then back home a couple times. And it's not that far of a drive, like 15 minutes. But 15 minutes of driving without any fucking fluid in your car a couple of times,
Oof.
like that might. I'm halfway considering just getting a different car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't lock it up, man.
No, I mean it's a testament to Honda, bro. Like Hondas
Oh
are
yeah,
great cars. You can run them days without fucking coolant in them, apparently, and they just keep going.
Yeah.
But it also might have caused some damage that is yet unseen, and this might be a symptom of that damage that was caused. I don't know. Like, there's this website that I go to, Peak Auto Auctions, is what it's called, and they've got a bunch of different states that have auctions, but they've got a bunch in Colorado, right? So you just go to Peak Auto Auctions and go to Colorado. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 11 auctions right now that I can bid on
Wow.
with different cars. And I already bought one car from them, so I know how it works and pretty confident doing it. And you can get cars for, I mean, I got that last one for $600, you know? So I'm assuming get something comparable for a similar price and
Yeah.
maybe put a couple $100 worth of whatever it needs to get it tip top, and it'll be better than the car that he's got.
Do you need to pay in cash?
Well, not cat. You got to have the money in your bank account.
Yeah.
Because they take it off your card. I guess
Yeah.
you could pay with a credit card. Sure. Why not, actually?
Okay.
yeah, they just don't do finance.
Yeah, it's no finance. Correct. But yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to get a truck. And that's like the cheapest way to get a pickup truck. You know? But you're picking up like a 2008 F-150 with 200,000 miles, you know? Like, you don't know what you're getting problem-wise.
Yeah.
And it could be mostly fine, or it could have like major problems.
So, okay, I'm looking at the website of this, and I see some got pricing. Is that like the final price of the car?
No, that's the current bid. It's an auction site.
Auction site, okay. And there's one in Ontario.
Anyway, yeah, it's a good way to get a cheap car if you have that in your area. Or, I mean, I guess the other way to do it would just be to look up like tow truck auctions or things like that in your area, or police public auctions, or not so much the repo auctions, because those tend to be newer cars that cost more and have, I don't know, like dealerships bidding on them, versus the these kind of auctions. You're just bidding against other people that are either trying to flip the cars or buying a car for themselves. So that the pool of people that you're bidding against is much smaller too when you do it like that. And everyone is either trying to like get a car for cheap or turn a profit. So no one's trying to bid the car up like too high, you know?
Yeah, I see a 2008 Hummer right here. Looks like it's all right.
Right. And like a lot of them, dude, like a lot of the cars I think don't have any problems at all. Like a lot of them are probably pretty good cars. You just don't know that it's going to be that, or if it's going to have massive problems. And that actually is part of the reason that makes them so cheap, is because there's that level of uncertainty that you have to build into the formula when you buy it in order to make it profitable if you're using it to flip cars, you know? Where if you occasionally buy one that needs a bunch of work, you just break even on that. You're not making any money, but at least you get your money back type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, just from these pictures alone, like there's literally no problems with the Hummer except a little gash on the driver's seat, like a little hole where you sit. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but like some of them have keys, some of them don't. If they have keys, it'll tell you if it runs and drives. If it doesn't have keys, you don't know, you know?
So I supposed to drive it.
Some of them tell how many miles there are. Others don't tell you, so you don't know.
But how are you supposed to drive if there's no keys?
You have to go pick up the car and get it off of their lot.
Yep. It has to be off the lot. Yep.
So you buy the car, and they're like, okay, you now have 48 hours to come to our lot and pick up your vehicle. And you're like, oh, shit. So you got to go there with like a flatbed or, you know.
Okay, so this is really unknown. Okay.
Or the other way to do it is to schedule with a locksmith and have them meet you at the lot at the time of your pickup so they can make a key for your car on the spot, and you bring a battery and some jumper fluid with you and hope that you can get it going, and you just drive it home. That's the way to do it. All right, now that I planted that seed in your guys' heads, it's been about an hour and a half, which is how long we normally go for the Gay Frog Chat. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. So to all of you, I will say deuces, y'all. Shall not pee in fridge. Tuba to shabba nabba to pressure batacath care. I fucked up my Joe Biden speech. Holy shit. I Joe Biden my Joe Biden.
Oh, no.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all next time. Later.
Bye.
Later.